Go.
Okay, I'm trying to get over this MTV hangover of say welcome folks starting the show. I think it doesn't work in the podcast. You just start. You don't have to say formal start because people are not stupid. We got to end this starting in buys. Buys and hellos. It's not a phone call that we're doing. It's a fucking show. Excuse my French. Just want to quickly mention I've been studying as a naturalist. I've been studying about butterflies. Yeah, that's my interest in life. Or the Hindi word titli, which I like to say with a Parsi accent. It just makes me feel happy. And the fact is that they actually, when they're mating, reject ugly butterflies. All the butterflies want the better looking butterflies. So it depends on their design, symmetry, wo sab ginke, they come to a point and say, chalo, this is the one for me. So in the animal kingdom, even the hippos, for example, the fattest is the one the women want. The fat hippo is the sexy one. So I'm thinking that even in human beings, it's not shallow when you think you want an attractive person or you want a certain type of look. I think it's normal. So you should not feel bad and feel shallow about yourself when you're that kind of person, which I am. In fact, the person who says that they love every member of the opposite sex or same sex or all sex, well, that can only be God. That's my clear hypothesis for today. And now we move on to a man who's known as the god of comedy, the one and only SS, nothing to do with the Nazis, but Sahil Shah. He's one of the youngest comedian virgins in 2009-10. He was hardly 18 or 19 years old. And he swore to his parents that he was going to become a household name, and they kicked him out of the house and said, comedian, get out. And today we have him on the show. He's worth more than 500 crores. He works only on weekends. He wears only short pants, and he's been nice enough to come on the show. There's lots to talk about, but first let's just say hello.
I was
And
just
he's
trying to
walked
show
out.
off my short pants since you said I wear only short pants. I'm sticking to the work ethic. And I would just like to say, I'm so glad to be here. And I'm so glad that this was this was the introduction, because I really thought it was going to go, so like in the animal kingdom, they go after ugly people. Speaking of ugly people, Sahil Shah's here. And I'm like,
How,
where is this going? Where?
Sahil, how can the pot, to use a non-racist comment, how can the pot call the kettle black? I would never call you ugly because that would only mean you'll call me ugly, and the whole show would just become uglier after that. So let's establish that you're a good-looking young man, Sahil. Why don't know why? Why would you even say that?
No,
Uh,
no.
you, but
It's the first form of humor is that humor. Just straight away, it's like now it's
it's
been
called
10 years
abuse.
of
Yeah, we used to call it humor. It's just simple abuse. You guys have seen through our act.
It's
That's
it's
all.
the it's the thing where people are like, when people troll, I'm like, how can you troll me? How will you troll me? I troll myself on a daily basis. I abuse
Correct.
myself on a daily basis. What are you going to say that is going to hurt me that I've not already told myself earlier? So bring it.
Yeah, there's a psychology to that whole thing, which is actually quite interesting beyond the realms of humor also. Where I remember a girl in college who was very upset with some guy calling her all the time.
Hmm.
And, he would call her up and say Randi and whore and all those kind of words. And she used to cry. And then one day we asked her what happened. She said, this guy goes on abusing me. I don't know who he is, but so I said, why don't you agree with him? Just try that. So she, after, took her some time, but then she went back and took the phone and said, ha, main Randi hu, main whore hu. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Very good, very good. Oh, give me more, give me more. That's all you got. That kind of style. The guy never called again.
Yeah.
She just killed it. The fun
Yeah.
went out of his whole, this mental rape that he was doing. It was pointless.
Yeah.
So I don't know by mistake whether you and I, guys who think we are humorists, we do that making fun of ourselves. So that ultimately there's no fun left in the other guy to make fun of you.
But I think like most majority of the comedy starts from people just making fun of themselves, like it's almost like I'm this and that, I do this, I do that. So people are like, okay, wow, this person's life is really sad. Maybe we can laugh, without having
No.
any guilt
Veer
about
Das
it.
says you have to call him Veer and all that. He's very touchy. And Raju Srivastav, he says, touch my feet for no reason whatsoever. I don't agree with you. I have a friend, Kunal Vijayekar, arguably the best looking comedian ever. He's so offended, he walks out of our shoots 1 out of 3 times.
So
So,
I'll interject over here. I know
go on.
him.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, no. So like he's friends with my parents, so he knows them really. Yeah.
First one, Sahil Shah wins the round of the comics with a superb out of the ground six. There can be no more disrespect. We're just talking about making fun of ourselves to, dissuade the other guy to come on to you in a bad way. And there you go. And the way you've done it, see, there was no malice when you said that. And that's why it's the best form of humor. You actually said it nicely, like, mera parents se milte hain and all that. The moment you said that, you have killed him. I will keep this plug forever. It will stay on my phone so I can play it when I'm feeling lonely. About how you destroyed Kunal Vijayekar in a sentence. I know him. And you were trying to be respectful and loving. And all you said is he knows my parents. No comeback, bro. No comeback. Vijaykar's dead. He killed him off. Oh, that's superb. Sai, let's talk about you. Others just sit here making silly jokes, which of course is the career and should be
Yes.
you should be proud. Well, we had a big fight. Me and Silvery, who's also a stand-up comedian and the producer, over when you started. So apparently you started really young. My introduction was not off the mark. You're one of the
Yeah.
youngest comics of your generation in that
Yeah.
sense, because all the old men, your uncles like Saurabh Pant, since you already destroyed Kunal, and all the other All India, no, All India Bakchod is the cousin, Indian comedy, East India Company, East India
Yes.
comedy. So just take us to the beginning there. It's very interesting because we were just discussing, and that was a point when no one could tell their parents I'm going to be a comedian. It was
Yeah.
just ridiculous. A
It
point.
was such a weird time. So I'll like I think 17, 18. I remember I was in college and someone told me that hey, there's something called an open mic. I'm like, what is an open mic? And they're like, it's where you go and you know crack jokes and that's it. And at that time there was no competition, there was no scene, there was nothing. It was literally like people came, they cracked jokes, everyone laughed, everyone went home. That's it. There was no one wins the first place, no one says you come again, nothing. You just have an opportunity to talk. And I wrote like a ragtag bunch of jokes which are still there on the internet. Like my first ever performance that I did in my life, it's there on the internet. Someone had uploaded the video. And I remember I went with a full pulton of my friends. I'm like, guys, please come. And I think it was so
This is
nerve-wracking.
Blue Frog. What used to be Blue
No,
Frog?
it was this place called Cafe Goa in Bandra, which
Yeah,
was
yeah.
really
World famous.
yeah.
Small, so you can't make a mistake because every word will be picked up.
Exactly.
Correct.
It was nerve-wracking. And then I went with some like really like random jokes that I had written.
Give us
Just
one.
I'll tell you. What was it? Yeah, this was a joke that I did for many years. Was the fact that, and I still do it actually, was that in Bombay is the only place where you can't abuse. You don't need to use words like FU, BC, MC, and all of that, because there are places in Bombay that can be substituted and used as abuses, like Bhandu. You know, it sounds so threatening.
Nice.
You get into an
Nice.
accident, you're like, hey,
Hey,
Bhandu.
Pandup.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
that went on for a very long time. Like that joke still works everywhere that I do
While
it.
you've
And
already with your two jokes, you've gone up to amongst my favorite Indian comics of all time. Huh?
oh,
The
I'll blush,
Vijayakar
blush.
murder and
I'll
the
blush,
Bhandu.
blush.
Because I'm a South Bombay boy. So our racism is about people from
Yes,
outside South Bombay.
exactly.
So you
It
have to
was
understand, the moment you hit Bhandu, you've got me clapping in the aisle. It's Sahil, ek
yeah,
baja, sale ko.
I'm full South Bombay, but I
There you
don't
go.
seem South Bombay. Like I remember,
Why?
and this someone told me that this
Everybody
should.
in South Bombay is surname is Shah now. What are you talking about?
No, no, no,
Yaar?
no. I mean, someone told me this is like a thing that I should not tell people, but like I used to do this thing called a South Bombay test, where I would talk to people, and then after finish talking to them, I would ask them, "Where do you think I live?"
Yeah, I
And
want to do the test.
yeah, where have you got? What is the farthest that you have got?
Matlab in Bombay.
Yeah, in Bombay. Where have they guessed?
In Nalasopara, Chandivli. But that's because of the work we have. You've gone beyond.
Mira Road.
Mira Road. Tu Maharaja. Mira Road. Unbelievable. Yeah.
I'm not ashamed of that. I'm very proud. But yeah, so that's the thing. I went with friends. They all started laughing, and I'm like, wow, this is nice. This is good. Oh, you are laughing. Oh, I like it. And I started doing that more often. And I remember I was still in my third year of college, and started performing, going out of town, doing shows. That's when I bumped into Saurabh. And like I remember when I first met Saurabh, I sent him an email.
No, once you just stop before Soros. You were doing shows without having a name, nothing.
It's not shows. What would I say? It's like almost like
Performance.
open mics. Yeah, performances. I was doing
But
performances.
but this for guys who want to be like you, this is very important, right? When you just go there, you're not unknown. You've got to put out the audience. I think it becomes a lot easier when they sort of know you. They're almost on your side generally.
So, yeah, it is. The thing is, right? It's like now, it's like I'll tell you, like for example, anyone who is like, if you were to do a show tomorrow and everyone knows you, right? So you say something, people will obviously laugh. I mean, yes, it's going to be funny also, but everyone is obviously going to laugh also,
Third
right?
gag. Third gag. Sweetly put. Uncle, it'll be funny. Don't worry. Superb. You've
But
destroyed my generation. There's no one left.
No. Hey, listen, I used to, by the way, I was waiting for the right moment to say this, but I have been such a big fan. And like, I've always seen you like at random places, but I've never had the guts to come and say hi to you. Like, I've always seen you at the park with dogs.
Is it because of my smell? My wife was telling me that I actually have body odor now.
Yeah, I think it may be that. I think
That's acceptable, no?
Yeah,
You
yeah.
can like someone from far. That's good.
Yeah, just from far away. I want to come closer. No.
Imagine what the dogs are going through, yaar. They have 10,000 times better nasal faculties than us. Sorry. So you have to do these shows.
Yeah.
And like I said, your unknown name. So Tell us about all the, because that's really tough sometimes, right?
It was tough then, it is tougher now, because right now there is so much competition, there are so many people performing on a regular basis. Back then there was only like a very small bunch of people. So the thing is, right now if you name a comedian, right, let's say you name XYZ, all of us will know each other because we all started at the same place. So like whether you are like super famous or whether you're not, everyone knows everyone because everyone started at the same level playing field. And there's that original bunch, which I am really grateful to be part of, the original bunch, the first bunch. But at that time it was just, you go, you do your jokes, you come home with the satisfaction, I did this, I can't believe I did this. There was nothing called stand-up comedy, there was nothing called what do you do, and like, you know, like what you're telling jokes. There was no point where I
What
thought
did you
that I
tell
would
your
be.
parents, Sahil?
My parents were supportive. So both my parents are doctors, and they were
Oh
supportive.
my
Yeah.
God, another super gag. That's a tough one. I'd love to hear this conversation. Not once you start making money, when you're absolutely zero. How do you tell
Uh,
them that boss mere ko ye karne ka? Because it's not easy.
no, it wasn't. It really wasn't. It took at least 2 years of even actually doing shows where I'm getting money for them to be like, you know what, just still, why don't you go abroad or do a master's, you know, like I don't think this is going to be a full-time lifetime thing. Have something to fall back on. We are not saying don't do it, we support you, but I don't think this is going to last you forever. You should have a backup plan. I don't think you'll. And I'm like, okay. And I think first year, second year, there was a bit of a pushback. I think third year, fourth year is when the money like properly started happening. They stopped like, you know what, just do it. And I'll give you a beautiful counterpoint. After, I think it was the 6th or 7th year of comedy, my dad is like, you know what, I've always wanted to do stand up and I never got to do it. I
What are
got
you
to do
saying?
medicine. Yeah, I want to do it.
Apple and tree, falling
Yeah,
from the
it
tree.
was reverse nepotism. So I
Huh.
took him to a comedy club. I
Wow.
trained him for a month and he did stand up, and it was the happiest day
Baba,
of his
it's not
life.
reverse. It's still nepotism. It's just that you're going from son to father and then father to son. But what a lovely story that is, yeah.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
unbelievable. I was just thinking how ironic, not ironic, how it's the end of the spectrum. You have medical profession, which means hardcore academic, disciplined, diligent, ambitious, hardworking, all that coming from generations,
Yeah,
possibly beyond the parents,
yeah,
even
yeah.
above. Now your son wants to go into comedy, uncharted territory, which he also doesn't know what it's like. It's
Oh,
not like you had a proper plan.
yeah,
So
yeah,
I
yeah.
can imagine. I mean, that takes guts. So first of all, that's fantastic. And please, if you're listening to the program, don't try and do it. Listen to the parents, do the fallback plan, because everyone won't have Sahil Shah's rate of success. And
No,
I
I
think
feel
it'll be
right
tougher
now
now than
it's
even before.
tougher.
Yeah,
Right now it's tougher. Back
yeah.
then it wasn't. Back then, see, back then you were still forming the scene. I had the privilege of forming the scene. It's like I had the privilege of going to cities like Bangalore
So you're
and
saying you were like the Congress. There was no one to fight you, and
yeah.
now there are 17 more
Now there are a lot
parties.
more better parties
Yeah,
out there
yeah.
also.
Correct.
Right?
Are you really saying that? Dear Munawar, Sahil has withdrawn support. His name is off the letter. Yeah. But no, so really, I know that there's more competition, but there's also more chance now parents will understand, because
Yes.
you can go on the internet, they can see that some
Yes.
names are known, they're doing other
Yes.
things. Your name itself will help somebody else. They'll say,
Yeah.
okay, see what he does, see how much work he's got, etc., etc.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
So thank God.
Like
Which of course means our generation was fuck all.
it
You
must
couldn't
have been
convince
like,
your
imagine like
parents.
when you also started doing all the things on MTV, I'm sure people would have been like, what is happening? Mustn't have
No, they just
understood. No.
basically said, "Can you stop?" That is more from aesthetic point of view. But yeah, but my parents, same conversation in the sense that I kept my LLB seat for some time. I was
Mm.
in first year government law college. I couldn't do the exam because of MTV and some shoots and all that. So I moved to KC.
Mm.
But middle class background, similar. Parents, you do your law and do whatever the hell you want after that. Who
Yeah,
cares? But
exactly.
the law seat you
Exactly.
keep, and then my dad's a lawyer, etc. etc. So I had that. But of course, I gave up in the middle because I started earning more than him after 2 years. It's embarrassing. He's a well-read man who works really hard, and then I'm getting paid to do some stupid episodes on some friggin' channel, which is, I mean, it has no intellectual property and still doesn't. Today it's gone to roadies, which makes us look good in terms of what we had to say. But yeah, no, but
I
this,
know that feeling. I know that feeling. Like my folks are sitting at home. My dad is like, hey man, like I don't know why I said no, because you are getting money from tweeting or putting up Facebook posts that I am getting from doing surgeries and all. And
for which he's
I
worked, brother, for
yeah,
which he's worked for how
exactly.
many years? His name, the Dr. Shah name, came after 20 years of work. The
Exactly.
Sahil Shah name, to due respect, comes in 2 years. Look at it. I mean, of course, not everybody gets it, so it's a smaller market. But
Yeah.
having said that, when you do decently well and get a name for yourself, let's face it, we are really lucky in
Yeah,
that
yeah, yeah,
sense.
yeah.
Huh.
No, I'll be very honest. There was a point of time where everyone would be like, "Oh my God, you're doing you're doing so well," and I would be like, "No, no, no, no. it's just, it's stuff. But I also like, there are times I think back and I'm like, I have slogged. I have gone to pubs and done shows for people who didn't know what comedy was, or who didn't know who I was. And that is the worst combo ever, when people don't know you, plus they don't even know what you're doing, and you're struggling. You're like, hey guys, these are some jokes I have. What's with hotel bathrooms? Hello, anyone listening? Oh man, those
You've
are.
done that.
Oh,
I've done a show in Ludhiana where after someone says the organizer, Punjabi nahi aati aapko? It was like, yeah, that would be tough rather than MCBC. But all said and done, if you had done your medical degree, you would have to spend 10 to 15 years working as an apprentice. Think about all that, all those hard yards. In that sense, I'm saying physical work. I know this is ego bursting and your self-esteem and confidence takes more beating than it would in medicine and all that. So you're tougher that way. But the amount of time spent is much less. So we got to be.
They said no. They flat out told me, please don't be a doctor. Their idea was very simple: do anything but medicine. Because I come from if I describe my
mistake,
family,
you didn't know COVID was coming.
Yeah. I would like, oh my god, I'd be so profitable.
Yeah, you could just vaccinate. I'll tell you a joke. Simple. Yeah, but no, that's a bit odd, no? The doctor's family doesn't want the child to be a doctor. Now I know that in the military families, the Fauji families, they've sort of told the kids no more. It used to be a family tradition, but now you think that's really happening where doctors, engineers, lawyers are three big ones in middle class India.
But because opportunities are like increasing, right? Like you find out jobs. Like I consider myself as someone who's like, okay, I'm very well known. Like I know things and I've read things. But like I was doing a shoot the other day and I found out like, I was like, this person was making ice cream out of potatoes. And I'm like, she's like, yeah, I'm a food stylist. This is my job, to think about different ways to make fake food. And I'm like, wow.
Hey, doggy! I saw doggy in the background. Sorry, I got distracted.
Yeah, wait, Biggie.
Can we meet the doggy?
Come in. Of course. Come in.
Oh. Ladies and gentlemen, we interrupt this broadcast to say hello. Oh, how sweet. Oh, what is the young boy's name?
His name is Bagel and he is a one-eyed indie. Bagel, you want to look at the camera? 1 second. Oh, Bagel. I shouldn't have done this.
You must. You'll get endorsements for dog products immediately. Within 5 minutes, the calls will come.
Of course, that is part of
the dog is rejecting me. I say, I'll do anything but look at that guy.
Yeah, so this is...
Let's see his anus now that's the only option. The dogs always inspect the anus. It's a very important part in dog culture.
Hey, what are you doing?
Bagel, leave him there. Don't worry about him. Okay, so listen, we have to talk about, we are already talked too much, so I need to get into the important things, the moments in your life. Childish behavior, how did that happen? Okay, we have to fast forward. You are now a known name. You're traveling India. You're doing corporate shows, normal shows, bar shows.
Basically, Amazon was asking comedians if they wanted to do stand-up specials. They reached out to a bunch of people. Okay, baby, thank you. They reached out to a bunch of people and they asked me, reached out to us and I said, okay, yeah, sure. Let's do a show. And at that time when I was, I think I did it when I was 23, 24, I was super immature. Not like I'm not right now, but back then I was very, and I said, you know what? I have this entire show called Childish Behavior where I act like a child. I behave like a child. Let's do it. And I lived out what a great dream. Everything about that show was super childish, from the poster to the designing to the pre-film. Basically, before every comedy special, there is a film. I remember we sat for 2 days and we made sock puppets and we made a mini version of the show with sock puppets before the show starts. And I think I'm the only comedian in the country, and I can proudly say it, who has entered his stand-up special on, those kiddies are that electronic car, right? So we went to Crawford Market, we bought a car. I entered the special on that car. I didn't walk. I was literally driving that car. It took a lot of time for us to practice because I was banging the car into random places.
The car on remote control?
No. So someone at the back can remote control it, but you can also drive by pressing the accelerator. We had to break the back seat to fit me. Yeah, it was
vulgar display of barbaric power. And so you went across the city with this advertising?
No. So it was only for the show. But like basically the entire show was
you hit on something very important because you solved the parking problem. You can actually pick up your car and take it with you once you're done.
It's amazing. By the way, those cars are really fascinating. I do not know why more people are not using them.
Decent speed?
Very good speed. India's entire traffic problem would be solved.
And it's electric, basically. Now, how does it? Yeah, it's a great idea, yeah.
And someone controls it. So if you're stuck in a wrong place, you just call someone
Mom,
with the remote
just
control.
Put me into second. Wow, excellent. Who? So Elon Musk has nothing on us, bro.
Nothing at
Crawford
all.
Market. There's a guy called Makbul Bhai who's designed the best thing ever years before this guy's trying to go to Mars. God.
Elon Muskul Bhai. I think that's the shop name in Crawford Market. Elon Muskul. That's where you get everything.
मस्क को भूल गए हो.
So yeah,
Uh,
that was childish behavior. Long story short, it was a fun childish
so,
show that happened, and bus.
so the whole show is you being like regressive,
Yes, it
and
is trying to tell people that I am childish. It talks about things from my life where I have been childish, moments where I have been childish. I wear light up shoes, I act childish, I behave childish, I throw tantrums. It's basically trying to prove that I want to be
so it's
like
a
this
commentary on
young kid.
childhood where you go in and out of childishness.
No, it's not. It's about how me as an adult, I'm a child. That is what the entire idea is. That as an adult, that was my
Isn't that
theme.
isn't that a good thing? If everybody had their child in them, still we'd be a happier country. I
That
think a
is
lot of the people getting angry over nothing is because they lose their child, and children get
that
angry
is
also.
exactly what I said. I'm
Huh.
like, you don't why I don't know why people are not like why are people not getting happy over stupid things? And that's what the whole show was. That other people get happy over main things. Like when you turn like 25, you want to buy good things and prove to the world that you're an adult. I bought light up shoes and I was very happy because I had light up shoes and I wore them and I'm
Gujarati manas
jumping.
છે na Gujarati manas છે. Light up shoes. This is 100%. You're a Walkeshwar boy. This makes sense. Growing up with all the money in the world, you come back and you light up the shoes. But
Light
it
up
was a
shoes
trend.
and a
Okay,
tiny
you
remote
understand.
control car. Nothing
Wow,
can defeat that.
wow,
Yeah.
wow. Yeah, really. Okay. Listen. So let's quickly get into lots of other stuff. ETC versus Bollywood.
EIC was a Bollywood.
What is that all about? EIC versus Bollywood.
So,
Sorry.
so when we formed the group EIC, we did a bunch of shows together, and then we realized theme-based shows are much more fun. So we created the show called EIC vs Bollywood, where it was like an award show. It was basically like a worst actor, worst this thing, and all of
Oh,
that.
the Raspberry Awards. Okay.
Yeah. So
But do
Raspberry
they
had
come? Did the celebs come on board?
so a few celebs did come on board. I remember one of the first few. So what happened was Raspberry ka Indian version was the Ghanta Awards,
Yeah.
and we did the Ghanta Awards for a few
Kela. We
years.
did the Kela also before that.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah,
There was
yeah.
Golden Kela, there was Raspberry, there
Ghanta,
were a bunch
yeah,
of
correct.
them. And then eventually EIC versus Bollywood got formed, where it was like a variation of that, where we did Bollywood versus science, Bollywood versus stat, so on and so forth, different topics. And it was a lot of fun, you know,
Isn't
because
Bollywood beautiful that way?
ah,
It can give you so much. I'm just thinking, what a lovely idea you had there. Because you
so
can go
much
through the
fun.
entire gamut of things: Bollywood versus fashion,
Yeah.
Bollywood versus safety,
Yeah.
Bollywood versus driving, Bollywood versus death.
It was beautiful. You'd be like I was surprised watching some of the, but the problem was the research part because you had to watch the movies, right? And you're like, I can't
Not the
do
whole
this. I can't do this. I
I
can't.
love
need to
births,
stop.
you know, in the old 70s, 80s pictures, how the birth happens of the child. It's just amazing. And she's a full sari. The sari is still on. The sari remains on. The child comes out and holds the child in the sari. There's just makeup is full. It's fabulous.
You know, one of the things that I wish, like I say every time I do a show, but people don't remember it. But my coolest thing was that, you know, whenever someone would die in movies, they would just do this. They would call a guy who would do this and the eyes would shut.
Shut
I'm
the
like,
eyes.
that
Yeah,
is
yeah,
so cool.
yeah.
That is something I want to not learn, but yeah, I would like to be that guy who just.
And there'll be a somber shot of his face
Yeah.
after he does the act, you know, like he's acted like God for a sense. Like close up of his face, very somber. You know, thinking what a job that is. Wait, then we've also got Unpopular Opinions, the podcast.
So it's not like a podcast, but basically during the lockdown, I decided that I think I was watching which was the show I was watching. I don't remember. I was watching a
Rajya
show,
Sabha TV.
Batman, something about Batman, the new Batman, basically the new Batman trailer had come out.
Huh.
And Rajya Sabha TV. Yes, that came out during the Rajya Sabha TV
Same
proceedings.
genre. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very dark. And
What happened? Basically, a lot of people were hating on this guy, Robert Pattinson, as Batman. You know?
right.
And
so
I was
do
like, no, man,
Compare.
he looks good and he sounds good, and I think that's my
And you can't see him
unpopular
once the
opinion.
mask is on anyway. And
Yeah,
they all have that
exactly.
hideous baritone, you know, like I don't know,
Not the-
early
like,
pictures.
yeah.
Yeah. Like, come on, man, the virus is gone now. Get on with it. Yeah.
That would be hilarious though, right? I remember I shot one video during the lockdown, completely unrelated, about Batman during lockdown, and like Batman with a mask, and I'm like, that defeats the purpose.
Yeah.
Now he's got no way for people to understand what he's saying or what he's doing. But yeah, I was like, I like him as Batman, and that's my opinion. And then I'm like, you know what? Let me just do this. So then I created one video, and then I reached out to a bunch of comics. I'm like, let's do one on Bollywood, let's do one on that. And over time, it grew into something bigger than what it was. And now almost it was happening every week, and now it's slowed down a little because now obviously people are much busier. But like it's become into something called, like, you take a topic and you ask the crowd to give unpopular opinions about the topic. And we just, 4 of us, we sit, we laugh, and we chit chat. And it's just too much fun. It's too much fun. And I remember we had a thing about kids where there were two older people, Atul Khatri and Amit Tandon, and I.
Oh,
And we were
nice. Older
fighting.
people. Well, goes to the Vijay category. Slap them on their face, those ugly uncles still doing comedy. Oh, Sahil,
Who
go
were
on.
friends of my parents. There. I said that
No,
thing again.
they are friends of the grandparents because they're really old. So it was a generation thing.
Yeah,
Wow.
it was just a conversation about old age, and I was like, I feel like I'm getting older, and we had a chat, and then we had a big chat about kids, and I'm like, I prefer dogs over kids, and the way they broke upon me, and I still
You should
get
have
comments
called
till
me,
this
man.
date.
I'm so much for that dogs versus kids argument. I've had both. There's no comparison. How can you compare? My God, no. Really. First, cost to company. Since we are both boys from,
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think, the Gujarat part of India, money comes into every equation, and cost to company, dog first. Straight away, he's won the battle. It's downhill from there for the kids. But Sahil, one more thing is there this unpopular. Then there's what's the point of this? A funny
Yeah.
news show?
So I'll tell you what. So basically, during lockdown, I realized I needed to do something with the free time that I had, because clearly all of us were sitting at home and I had no kam dhanda. So unpopular opinions came up, and then right now, recently, I've started something called "What's the Point of This," where I just talk about. The idea was I want to talk about the bizarre and stupid news that happen in the country, and
Which is basically 90% of the news.
every day.
You
And
don't really have to search.
but like I'm telling you, you find news stories that are just way too bizarre. So it started from when I read this. So I had done a podcast about it also called "Why Would You Do This?" It's there on Audible about bizarre news. And now I'm doing like I'll tell you, there's a great one. I read the story right now where I think it was in Kerala. This lady wanted to get married, and on the day of the marriage, the groom didn't show up. So she got married to a guest from the wedding.
Wow.
It's beautiful.
But they carried on with the wedding because
Yeah.
again,
Yeah.
they're thinking like us. We paid for everything.
Yeah.
So let's not stop this.
Yeah.
Let the
So,
ball keep
like,
rolling.
Like the dad literally was like, anyone
No
interested?
problem. She's very pretty. See profile. MBBS. Yeah, lovely.
One guy's
What-
like, I don't mind. I'm doing nothing today anyways.
The one guy who's never dated a girl. Yes, won my shot. Wow, what a lovely story. Oh, good. I wish we had time to get through all your other bizarre stories, but we have to take a quick break.
Sure.
It's a long break for about 45 minutes, and we'll come back and we'll bring in Silvery, who worships you and says that
Ooh.
you're the greatest comedian the world has ever seen. Antariksh, also known as Silvery. Long story there. Take a quick break. And
Okay.
when we come back, Sahil Shah tells us how much he earns, whether he pays GST, whether he's collected his VAT, and what's coming next after this break.
Ooh.
Hey, Sahil, we're back.
Oh shit! So quickly, damn it!
Yeah, it's a test for the guest always because we have no sponsor. We're looking around. So if you know anyone, we'll take a clinic also. You know, if it's like I don't even mind if it's like a homeopathy clinic. Dr.
I mean,
Rao's.
I'll ask my dad. I'll ask my dad if he's willing to. No,
Yeah?
my dad's not a homeopath, but I'll ask him if he's.
Another slap to a whole industry. Crappy homeopathy. My dad's a doctor. Yeah, homeopath. My mother loves homeopathy. I don't say anything about that.
Oh
It's a
yeah.
huge fight with us. She thought COVID is dead. Next to her 3 pills that she used to give me, you take these 3 pills with a little liquid, and you don't worry. No COVID will ever happen to you. It just tastes like sweet glucose.
You should hear my parents talk about homeopathy. Oh, it's beautiful.
Anti.
Oh, 100%. 100%.
I've heard that rant from doctors. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
completely looking down on it.
Yeah, yeah.
Lack of science and data and don't trust the Germans. Something
Yeah.
like that. It's like Russians with Sputnik. At the end of the day, we don't know what Putin. Some scientists were thrown out of a window. That's what we remember. Talk about bizarre stories. Yeah.
Yeah.
Those who opposed Sputnik in the beginning, they just disappeared.
Wow.
They seemingly well-educated guys fell out of the Science Institute 7th floor building one day. 3 of them. That's what happened.
Very possible. Very
And
possible. In
because
Russia, anything's
They pushed
possible.
the trials as have we. So you skip a couple of trials, it's an emergency, whatever. And Sputnik came out, which claims 90%
Yeah.
efficacy
Yeah.
and all that. Yeah.
Hey.
I'm a big fan of Putin.
Hey, nothing beats Coronel, man. Coronel shows
Colonel,
100%.
I am going back to because after all this, no one is giving him close. Now they're saying 90 is actually 70. Second jab,
Yeah.
lena padega.
Yeah.
This, that. Coronel from the beginning said 50% chance. Take it. Just do it. I love that guy. Patanjali's in. Maybe they can sponsor our show.
We can.
Yeah,
You
and
have
it'll
a
be
very
good.
easy
We'll make fun
sponsor.
of them lightheartedly, and that'll also help, with a certain audience. Patanjali will become cool. It'll be like, yeah, homosexuality is your problem. Don't worry. Apply this on your nipple twice a day. Boom, heterosexual from
They
Wednesday.
had come out with something called sanskari jeans, right? They were
Yeah.
jeans without holes in them. That was the
Yeah.
idea. And
Yeah,
I'm like, wow,
yeah.
they have really. I will give it to them. I
Yeah.
will buy sanskari jeans because that's a smart thought process.
So when you say without holes, you can't put your feet through. Because,
you
because,
don't get out of the
technically,
house.
he's just like,
It's
what the fuck?
sanskari.
I'm stuck. Yeah. Ouch. All right, let's call in Silvery. Silvery, where are you? Antariksh
Hey,
Takkar.
hi. Hello.
Hello.
How's it going, guys?
What's up,
Uh,
man?
all good. Let's get to some of the AMAs. We have some great.
But wait, first say something to him. I mean, you
Okay.
come, you're a comedian, it's
Yeah,
your
yeah,
same
yeah.
family. Do you like Sahil? Have you watched his
I,
stuff? Do you watch his
of
Amazon
course,
special?
I've
Thoda
seen
bhav dena padega na.
I've seen childish behavior, and I've watched unpopular opinions like proper religiously every
I know.
episode.
I saw his messages when he messaged yesterday. He was more excited to message me about unpopular opinions than actually coming here. So I was like,
Yeah, his
yay.
interest in senior comedians, if I dare say that, since you've insulted Kunal,
I
is very
accept it.
high compared to some of the other guests.
I
Some of the
accept
other
it.
guests
Yeah,
is like two
for sure.
lines. For Sahil, he's got from first year what you did, when you were breastfed till, when did you start urinating on your own, when did you stand up properly, when did you have sex for the first and last time, all that. Wonderful.
Oh,
Yeah.
Now enough
Uh,
bhow has been given to Sahil. We can proceed,
okay.
right? Sahil, okay?
yeah,
All right.
yeah. Please,
Ah,
please,
chalo.
please, please.
All
I'm
right.
just thinking of you in those pants though. Doing an Appu Raja, na, because you can't get your feet out.
Okay.
Say.
Sorry, go on.
Let's get to some of the live chat. Dark Lord Speak says giving my exams right now, but just dropped in to say Sahil Shah JMDLR, which is Jai Mata Di.
Let's
Let's
rock.
rock.
Always.
Yeah.
Jai Mata Di, let's rock. All right,
Yeah.
keep everybody happy. I like it.
No, so
So
like on our channel, we don't, so like when the streaming thing happened, a lot of people started saying OP, OP. OP means overpowered for short. And a lot of people say OP, OP, OP. And one day I was doing some stream and I just came, I'll say, that Himesh says, Jamata Di, let's rock. So it just came to my mind. And from then on, it's become a thing. So like when people
Yeah.
watch also streams, they just spam JMDLR and everyone's like, what is it? And I'm like, that's the inside joke. That is something you need to be part of to understand. So well done, Dark Lord.
So are
well
you
done.
saying that Himesh is the ultimate comedian? Because
For
you have
me,
to finally
yes.
borrow one line from him. No,
Yes.
just respect has to be
Yes.
given where respect is due. Fair enough.
For me, Himesh is a legend. If you've seen any of Himesh's videos during
Get videos. I've seen the
lockdown.
movies. That first movie shot. What was it called? The one where it's shot in
Aapka Surur.
Germany. Aapka Surur, was it? The very first one, huh?
I
Where
think it was
he's
Aapka
fighting
Surur.
people in Germany and all that with the
Yeah.
bodyguards. and all.
I think that was one with the rickshaws and all, if I'm not
Yeah.
wrong. It was
Yeah,
that one
correct.
only.
Same
Yeah,
one.
that
Same
one,
one.
yeah.
God,
We have done.
we've all seen Himesh's films. That's it. The podcast is finished. Jai Mata Di, let's rock.
Yeah.
Okay, sorry guys. Go on,
All right.
Silvery.
Yeah. Next, the first question comes in from Vivek Panjwani. He says, this is a comedy related question. That's why I picked this one. It says, hey, Cyrus and guest. Cyrus, big fan of the podcast. I was blown away by the recent developments in the Dave Chappelle Comedy Central Chappelle Show saga. Dave actually got them to fold and pay him the money. A lot of his peers were skeptical about it. It's mind blowing to me. Even though Comedy Central didn't really have to pay him and give him his name back according to the contract, they still did. I think Comedy Central came off looking great in this whole thing. What do you guys think?
Yeah, I'm not a fan of Comedy Central because they owed us money and then pay for a long time, but that's another story.
Really?
Yeah, but not as much as Dave
Okay.
Chappelle. But we discussed this Silvery with Amit also before,
Yeah.
and I don't know why Dave Chappelle had to do all this because I mean such a big name with worth so much. Why go through all this for what? And technically, I think we discussed the fact that the producer has the rights. It's your name and it's
Yeah.
your show, but it's the same thing like us trying to take away programs that we've done from the past. We can't do anything about a Bakra or whatever. It's owned by somebody else, and that's the way it is.
Yeah, but I think it's a matter of name/ego. Like when you reach such a big point, like I
Yeah.
think Dave Chappelle has reached this point of, I don't care about anything, man. You know what? Like it doesn't matter to me. Like he's reached this point of no return where he doesn't give a damn about anyone or anything. So it's almost like, hey, you remember all those years where I didn't get my shit? Well, fuck you. This is where I want my thing. Please, I want it back.
Yeah,
And
but you think that Dave Chappelle would be fighting some huge revolution? His crap would be about, forget Black Lives Matter. It'll be something like really small children who can't grow tall and have only 1 foot. He'll hit a lobby that nobody's heard of, and that wow, Dave Chappelle is fighting for us. 8 of us in the whole world with just a 1 foot and 3 foot tall, wearing frocks, whatever. And but instead of that, I'm like, he's fighting for himself. He sounds like an Indian. He sounds so Indian when this kind of story happens. This is typical Indian story. यार मेरे को contract नहीं दिखने का, तूने मेरे को exploit किया. This, that, and the other. I'm Dave Chappelle. I'm bigger than. In a sense, he is bigger than Comedy Central. I dare say,
Yeah.
in a sense. But it's a bit. I just thought that why do you need to do that? That's my only question. But yeah, whatever. Sahil, would you do that?
I feel
Would you fight for your name from the past show, which is being in a sense exploited?
to some extent, yes. Because the thing is, you have to understand, like in a way that when you're young, right, you kind of sign up for a lot of things without knowing what it is. Like I'll tell you,
They
I've
have the
done-
power. You
Yeah, they
perhaps
have
don't
the
have the
power.
power.
I done a show for MT. No, I don't know. I think MTV or Channel V. I think
MTV
it
को
was
गाली देने का है and Channel V, call the lawyer, keep going.
Okay, I did one show for also Star World. I did one show for
Star World
Fashion
ki
TV. Just keep
mata
writing, keep
jai.
writing.
Okay, got it.
VH1, no.
Jai Mata Di, let's rock.
No, basically, I'd done a show, and I remember what happened was I was too young. This was when I was 17, and I'd done a show. And the thing is, at that time, there was a lot of things in the contract that I didn't know happened in a contract, and there were things where there were terms where I had to just shoot 8 episodes. On the 8th episode, they're like, no, now the show's been extended to 12, so we have to shoot 12 episodes, and it's part of the contract that you signed. So there are a lot of things where that angst still stays back years later, where you're like,
So
man,
you're saying Dave Chappelle was angry with them from before about the way he was treated by them.
he was always angry. He has brought it up multiple times before.
So it's not now suddenly
No.
waking up and
He's
saying-
brought it up multiple. It's not like sudden.
Yep.
He has always brought it up throughout. In interviews, he like, they screwed me over. They took
what
it
you're
over.
saying to take his side also, maybe in the beginning it was a completely one-sided contract. Maybe he was treated not so well. Who knows?
Yeah.
We don't know the inside story.
Yeah.
Really. Yeah.
But
like
no,
like if
go for it.
yeah, if Dave Chappelle hadn't come back and become the mega star that he just came back and became again,
Yes.
I don't think he could have done this, right? So only
Yes.
because he was able to come back and his
But
researches
Silvery,
were so huge.
They would not release it if he was not Dave Chappelle, who he is.
Exactly,
Right.
that's what.
So
Because he
don't-
became
it's
that big,
like
like
cat and horse story here. So what do you want to do? Once
Now
they
tomorrow-
once they release it, then he wants a pound of flesh, right?
yeah,
Once
exactly.
they believe he's back in the market in a big way, and so they whatever. So, but you
Because also now this means that it's possible that Dave Chappelle will work at Comedy Central again, because now they're saying he got his name back. So it's possible that they do a version of the Chappelle Show again. The Chappelle Show, hopefully they never do again,
this
because
internet world
they
doesn't
let
need
it
any
stay as it is.
Comedy Central is Dave Chappelle. We in India tuning in to listen to his 5-minute special here and there. So you can imagine. I mean, really, what does he
Yeah,
mean?
for sure.
He can just stand in the corner and somewhere in Washington, and there'll be millions of people listening to everything he says. It's a bit like what Rajnikant did to. Amma is no longer there, so I won't take names. When you're that big, you can just do anything. It just reached that point.
I think
Only Sahil can understand.
It's of course. I'm going to go back to all the shows that I have listed, all the channels that I've listed, and take my revenge back on them. Send them a message on Twitter saying, hey, I want my rights back.
No, Instagram video you have to take.
Subtle threat. Subtle threat,
very,
which is Dave Chappelle's entire article on how it played out with Comedy Central. Wink, wink. So boys, next.
All right, next one comes in from Janil Bain. It says, I met Sahil at EIC versus Bollywood in 2015 at NCPA, and I went berserk after meeting him. And he is the reason I started watching stand-up. And I remember telling him that I love you, Sahil.
Well,
You
I love you
remember
too, Jen.
Jen?
Remember this?
Would you remember?
To be honest, no. There are too many people who come after shows, so it's almost like post a wedding when they're like, you remember when we met you at your wedding, and you're like, no, I was just smiling and I'm like saying thank you. But I do remember whenever people do come, I make sure that I at least spend 2 minutes talking to them, because they've come, they've seen the show, they've paid, so you should just treat them as the proper audience member who's come to watch you. So if the person must have been excited, then I'm pretty sure I would have shrieked back. That's what I always do.
I have a different story to tell. After our shows, basically, when they come backstage, we shout to each other, run, because they're so angry and upset and sometimes violent. But, whatever. At least you have love. Love is
Hey,
important.
listen, I'll tell you something real quick. Okay, I remember when I first started the career. So me and Atul Khatri, we would do shows, and we used to go to the comedy club in Lower Parel. It's not there anymore. After the show, there was a back entrance to the club. After the show, as soon as the show was done, both of us, we would run out of the back entrance. We would stand outside and indulge in fake conversation, hoping that the people who finish the show and get out from the main entrance stop by and say, hey, good show. And we'd be like, no, thank you. Yeah, so I was saying, the show today was a, plethora of, and then just any bullshit to make sure you get
But
compliments.
would anyone say anything nice? Like,
Yeah,
they're here.
very often, I'm sure.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Of course.
So if depends on the show. If it was a really good show, then people are very happy to say, oh yeah,
Yes,
good show.
yes.
If it's a bad show, then you only feel bad, like, nah, yaar, I'm not going out.
I am not
Nobody's
going
gonna say
out.
anything. Yeah.
In fact, you sometimes wait till everyone leaves.
Exactly,
Let
yes.
If the staff is cleaning, you'll put on the uniform and you'll clean, making sure.
Yeah. For me personally, the worst thing is when they ask you, where's my car? They think you're a parking attendant or something. I'm always dressed. See, some people in suits just look bad. I'm one of those guys. Yes, I just look like a guy who's working around the place. Horrible. But yeah, connecting with the fans important. Dave Chappelle's contract important. Sahil, you're teaching us lots of interesting things.
Yeah.
What else do we have in terms of the AMA?
Next one comes in from Kashin Shetty. He says, this is very interesting. He says, hi Cyrus and Sahil, it's my birthday. Happy birthday,
Happy
Kashan.
birthday,
Happy birthday, man.
Kashin. Happy
Yeah.
birthday, Kashin. Jai Mata Di, let's rock.
It's become now lingo. See, I told you,
It's
it's easy
huge.
lingo. It
It's
just
going to. It's going
works.
to. This podcast is not complete without it. Yeah. We'll
He
have a picture
says,
of Himesh in the background soon. A
Ah,
lot of love. Yeah.
yeah. So Kashan says, hi, Cyrus and Sahil. It's my birthday. Speaking of which, what's your take on the whole smearing cake on people's faces trend?
I hate
A
that.
cake takes hours to make. Does it deserve such a barbaric treatment?
no, it
It's,
doesn't.
it's it's really strange how people who claim they love you, especially the boys in your class, can't wait to either bump your bum on the floor and kick your ass, or
Yeah.
throw cake and ice cream on your face and rub it really hard. It's
Yeah.
almost sexual aggressive. I'm
Very
like,
aggressive. Yeah.
why? Why can't they just politely get you a nice present worth more than their father earns to show real love? That never happened. No boy ever bought you anything. The girls, occasionally, some girl would be nice and write a card with your spelling, Cyrus spelled with an S or something, some embarrassing thing like that. But other than that, boys, I think I hate boys growing up.
Yeah,
Why
no,
do and I used to do it also. If it was Sahil's birthday, I'd be the one of those guys kicking him in the ass and singing happy birthday and
It's
thinking I made his
fun.
day.
I think all of us at one point of time, every guy has been that birthday bump guy. There are three types of birthday bumps guys. One who say birthday bumps and start the process. Two
Yeah.
who actually hold the person.
Yeah, the hard
And-
worker.
And third is the guy who, will, after all the kicks are done, he'll come running full speed saying one for good luck. I missed this one.
He's the VIP. Well put, well put. Yeah, that's absolutely spot on, I think. Honestly, yeah. And I do remember nobody wants to hold the legs.
No,
The legs are always given to the chutes of the
Yeah.
class. Hey, Vijay, come here, hold the legs. Yeah. Oh God, horrible.
But yeah,
happy
the
birth-
cake smearing thing is pretty stupid. Like in school, in fact, there was a point of time where I remember I'd gone for a party where they had two cakes. One only for cake
To
smearing,
smear.
like a
Yeah,
low quality one, and one, and I'm like, why? This is the stupidest thing I've ever. So like, it's silly. It's very silly.
But I remember we had a pal who was hardcore Jain veg, and his birthday and this thing happened. I remember it was also supposed to be funny. Yeah, he said, "Is it eggless?" Hitting him, smacking. You know how boys are. Yeah, boys once they start, it becomes like a mob. It's horrible.
Yeah.
But these are experiences I could have done without because I honestly couldn't bear that kicking in the ass. They would hit your balls. They would hit your bum in the bum area. Where it would really hurt for days. I mean,
Bad.
what the hell
It's
life is that?
Bad.
Oh.
Birthday bumps is the one thing I'm so grateful that we have grown out of and we don't continue as adults because that would mess us up.
You're happy you're in lockdown. 1 year बच गया यार बहन चोद. किसी ने kick नहीं मारा.
Birthday bumps was the only time I used to feel happy I'm an overweight child because people just couldn't pick me up, properly.
Really? But you're so
Yeah.
slim.
Now, like a little slim, but earlier I was like, as a kid, I was quite overweight. So it was
Really?
quite
But you
convenient.
don't look. Maybe have I never?
Just loose clothes and all, man.
But didn't you
It's
used to
loose
work
clothes.
in what's it called in Agnello House?
At Khar, Agnello House Khar. This is
Yeah. No, but I'm saying I'm trying to remember you.
Oh,
I can't remember.
okay,
your
like that.
fat.
I'm trying
Yeah,
to remember
no,
you if you were ever.
yeah. I haven't been fat in the last 2 years, but before that I was quite plump. And
But now I have to talk to your mom as a Punjabi mom.
she's listening. She listens to this podcast. So you can just talk to her right now.
Hi, auntie, how are you?
Auntie, और खिलाओ ना उनको. He's looking terrible. He looks like a refugee.
No. In the
I won't say
lockdown,
from which state.
in the lockdown, I've gained like 8 to 10 kgs, man. I think it's fine.
Lovely.
No,
Can you
what-
show?
Where? What?
Okay, don't show. If it's distributed illegally, we don't want to see it.
Okay.
All right.
Next one.
Next
One more.
Yeah,
Yeah.
one more.
Next one comes in from Abhijit. This is again for Sahil. He says, now that we are on this topic, when can we see Cyrus and Kunal on unpopular opinions? Would be a blast. Cyrus, let's do this.
Done. Let's do it.
Done. Kunal is free all
Yeah.
the time.
Yeah.
I can tell you right now, you can book him. It's bookable. There's not a single date in the calendar till 2023 when he attends his cousin's shadi, which may or may not happen because the guy's ugly. Yeah. Of course we can do it. 100%.
It's done.
Sahil, you'll pay some conveyance rate at least, no? Even though
Yeah,
we're
yeah.
on Zoom.
Yeah. For Zoom also, from your room to the computer, I'll give you like a little bit of a like a
Otherwise,
Uber fare
just
or
ask your
something.
dad to call Kunal when they're playing bridge or something. Just tell him.
But that was the plan. Eventually, yes, I was going to call you guys. So done. Now that he said it, it
Yeah.
has to happen.
That has to happen.
And now he's also he knows the lingo. So you know the JMDLR lingo. So you're part of
I'm
the
in.
family already.
I don't know
man.
about Vijay, but I'm in.
All right,
right.
next one. Next one comes from Tarun Kaushik. He says, my aim to the panel, a relationship question. He says, why does nervousness stem up just before marriage, even though the to-be spouse is the person who has been in a relationship for a long time anyway? So basically, he's talking about, I think he's probably getting married. Tarun, are you about to get married? And if you are, congratulations. Why is there nervousness before marriage?
Yeah, but see, Sahil, you're married?
Yeah.
Okay, so why do you tell us from personal experience? Because that's the only way to answer this. How do you answer this?
It's almost like it's how do I explain it? It's almost like yeah, okay, ठीक है, चल, we've
Be
made this
careful.
decision.
This stays forever. Your
Yeah.
wife or family
Just
members from that side will listen.
give
So
me a minute.
I'm giving you time.
Yeah, give me 1 sec. Meghna, can you close the door, please? No. 2 minutes.
right.
Can you close the door?
Silvery, this is an insult to us. He's so confident that nobody will download the episode or ever look
Nah,
at
I'm
it
just
ever
kidding.
again.
I'm just kidding. It's a joke. It's a joke.
So were you nervous?
It's the nervousness, I'll tell you, stems from the fact that oh shit, this it's almost like you're legalizing something, right? So you're like, oh, I hope I'm doing the right thing. I'm doing the right thing, because now you're not only doing, like, it's not even like you're making a relationship public to 4,000 people, 3,000, how many ever people, and everyone you know. So your family, your friends, everything. It's like, man, this is a big thing to get out of if in that situation. If you, because see, honestly, as humans, all of us want to get out of things. It's the escape flight of fight, you want to run away straight away. So with marriage also, you're like, oh god, I hope I'm doing the right thing, because if I want to run, oh, it's going to be bad, because oh, my grandmother's here, my grandfather's here, everyone is here, this is going to be a tense situation. But it's almost like, it's like stage, right? It's like performing also. You have that initial stage fright, and then once you're on the mandap, you're like, chalo, now let's go for it.
Slightly
Let's
different
roll.
take. One is that my father told me just before the wedding that now I paid for everything, you better get married. That was a
Exactly.
very clear point to me, because for him that always is above love, and I've kept that in my head. And the second thing is, I remember I got scared. I was telling Kunal, unfortunately always there, just the night before I was saying, what now? That means I have to sleep with only one woman for the rest of my life. You know, that fear was there. And remember, his golden words to me was, you idiot, first see if she sleeps with you before worrying about other women. And that's correct also, because after a few years of marriage, you're not getting it in and you're not getting it out. No pun intended. That's the way it is, bro.
Yeah. That's what it is. If you found someone who actually likes you for who you are, stick to it. Please stick to it. Just
if I may use an English phrase, it's called the unfucking of yourself. That's what happens. So anybody goes on the marriage trap, all the other bachelors are like, yes, one gone. Market come ho gaya, one gone. He's gone forever. You'll never see him again. His bedroom is just a waste of time.
हमारे लिए
वो तो अलग बात है, वो तो अलग बात, but now बहाना भी मिल गया हमको ना. Now we are proud to blame it on the fact that we got married. Daddy's to blame. Simple. Yeah. All right. But anyway, let's not be cynical for poor Tarun.
Yeah, no, man, don't be nervous. It's just go for it.
Watch some porn, understand how it's done. That remembers the first 5 minutes of your marriage. The rest of it, there is no book that can train you. There's no video available, no Dave Chappelle contract, nothing can help you, bro. But what can I say? All the best, and there's always apna haath.
Oh, Jagannath, yes.
I
was not going to say it, but okay, I guess it went.
Jai Mata Di, let's rock. Let's raise the bar. Okay, guys, is that it, Silvery?
There are a few questions. We can just end with this one.
Quick. Yeah, let's do one.
Hemraj asks, who are your top 5 best picks for best comedians in India? So your favorite comedians.
But maybe Sahil
5 is maybe too much. You can do 3 also. If you.
No, but whatever comes to mind, then later on you'll feel bad and say, oh shit, I should have said so and so.
No,
Yeah, that's what comes to mind.
There are people who I really enjoy watching. Like, see,
Go
I
on,
love
yeah.
watching Abhishek Umanyu. I just love,
course.
like, he has such a fun way of saying things and putting things across. I love watching, I love Naveen Richard, because he does those characters of his, which are just, my God, it's just so unbelievably bizarre. Then who else do I always like? I always like, I think even Biswa, I really like Biswa also. Like, again, see, you know, I like a lot of times with people is that, like they say, right, with Biswa and Abhishek also, the things that they may say are normal, but the way they say it is damn funny, you know. And I think that's it's just the tone of the voice in which they
The
say
singer,
it,
not the song. As
Yeah.
we say.
You like the person on stage, and the jokes are also there, but the person on stage is also quite crazy. So it's fun.
Sahil, if you can just move your mouth without talking for 2 minutes now, just like that, can you move him out like a kung fu film?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah, can you? Okay, Silvery, just put in my name in that bit.
You know what? I lip sync it also.
Spin
My
it.
favorite comedians are.
That sounded like a female genital, huh? When I saw it. Can you tell? Yeah, sorry. Well, my name sometimes does sound like that.
Yeah, but I'm
All
not
right.
in your defense. I've never seen you do stand up. I
And
remember
God
you had done a
forbid you
show
will.
at
It's
you
worse
had done
than
a
marriage.
show at Sophia's. I think you and Kunal were doing a show at Sophia's, and I wanted to come, but I never made it for that one. I've never seen you do stand up. I've seen you do everything else, and stand in the park with your dog, which I never ever get a. Next time,
Why didn't you come at the Oval? Why didn't you come and say hi?
I don't know. I was very nervous, and you were.
Naveen
like,
Richards came one day, in the rain.
Yeah.
He just came, introduced himself, sat with me, pulled up a chair. We were chatting. It was a Sunday, so there was nobody in the Oval. It was lovely. And he just sat and chatted, and I had no idea who he was. And then, pestered me for a little while, but then he became a household name in 6 months and left me alone. He realized that I have no help for his career. Good Malayali boy, at the end of the day, figured it out. Ye Broacha se kuch nahi ho payega. He's a dog walker and a big talker, but nobody cares about him or his career. So he moved on to better people. Yeah, but he was a very interesting guy. I immediately liked him. Not in a sexual way, but maybe that too. Sahil, thank you so much for being on the show. I know you're busy patting your dog now, Bagel.
Yeah, no, sorry. He was right here. He's going to.
Baggy,
there
baggy.
he is. How are you, buddy?
That's so cute.
Wow.
This
You
is
are
what he does.
death-defying, yeah.
Every live stream, he always crashes it. So after a point of time, stop it now. He's going to steal a ruler and run away. But yeah, sorry.
Who?
Huh?
Queen, Prince Charles? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
he's going to. This is Prince Charles, literally. This is a husk of what he used to be.
Where are
Now
the
he's-
years? Where are the years, beta? Yeah, excellent. Okay, now you ask him who he prefers as we pull out of this show, and we will let him not answer it. Huh? Is it his wife or Bagel? Or Mega, is it?
Meghna.
Meghna or Bagel? See, I got Bagel's name right. Already we fucked it up. Never show this to anyone. We got the dog right. Oh, man.
I'm keeping the door shut for the next 15 minutes. You have time to edit the last bit out.
We also know what happened to the dog's other eye. Be very careful. Yeah. I'm just kidding. Sorry, no disrespect. Thanks, Sahil.
Thank you so much.
Thank you so
Thank
much.
you, guys. Great fun.
We'll see you soon.
Bye.
Bye-bye.